Hi, everyone. Welcome to your Tarot Wisdom messages for the month of July 2026. Happy summer. Those of us in the Northern Hemisphere are having a heat wave. So, if you're down under, enjoy the cool. Um, Loads of things happening. Loads of things happening. We are in Cancer season. Um, I will put a link in the description to the video I did on Cancer season because what I've been doing lately is taking the corresponding card in tarot to whichever zodiac sign we are moving into. So on the 21st of June, the summer solstice, we moved into Cancer season. The corresponding card is the Chariot. So I look at the Chariot and I see what wisdom the Chariot has for us, because it's always relevant for whatever season we're in. And it was quite an interesting one. I used the Rider-Waite deck, but also the Sufi deck, which I'm really into as well. Because the Chariot is about reconciling opposing forces for the highest good. And I what came through was the inspiration to use Trump as an example. He's a really good example, reconciling those that hate him and those that love him. I could have used Marmite, of course. But yeah, check that video out because reconciling the polarity, the duality, the opposing forces, whichever way you want to look at it, is obviously a major step towards unity consciousness and creating world peace, which is what I'm all about. Also, if you're into astrology, I'll put a link in the description to an astrology update that I did this week with the lovely Amy Bird and Liz Nagel, two of my good friends. And that was really good as well. Amy tells us the astrological information or what have you, being the astrologer. So it's a whole series I've got. If you haven't seen it, check it out on my channel. The astrologer, the mystic, and the tarot reader. So Amy tells us the astrological update. Liz, we talk about, we take it to another level, what it means, how we can integrate it into our human experience. And I do a little card reading as well, which always backs up whatever the astrology is saying. So I'll put a link into that as well. And the other bit of news that I'm really excited about is my upcoming trip to the UK. If you're in the UK, I would love to see you. I feel like I'm doing a little bit of a tour, but there's only two dates, two events. Maybe next year I'll do a bigger tour. I don't know because it's feeling really good. So on the 5th of July, which is coming up now, right? I will be in Glastonbury. I am so excited about that because I have never been to Glastonbury, but I will be in Glastonbury and I will be at the Avalon Club in the High Street from 7 till 9, doing an evening of tarot wisdom, followed by Q&A. So personal questions welcomed, all answered by the cards. So that's on the 5th of July, Sunday, the 5th of July. Really exciting in Glastonbury. And on Friday, the 10th of July, I will be in Ramsgate, my old hometown of Ramsgate. Not where I'm from, but where I've spent years living. So 7 till 9, it's at Gatherand, down on the harbour. So if you're in that area, if you're anywhere near Glastonbury or Ramsgate, then please come along and see an evening of tarot wisdom followed by your own personal Q&A. So I'm super excited about that. Wow. I love it when the cards do that because there's just no denying that they want to speak. Can we have some more guidance, please, for July? Whoa. Okay, stop now because it's really chatty. I want to see what's on the bottom, and I want to put these out. I don't want too many. All right, here we go. Wow. Let's dive in, shall we? The one on the bottom, the world. the world. There we go. It's the last of the major. Oh, I'm already excited. It's the last of the major arcana. It means that we have completed some kind of spiritual lesson, some kind of, I don't even want to say it's a lesson, not a single lesson. I think it's like a whole stage of who we are. We're moving into such a level of consciousness. We can be open and receptive to it. That's my advice, because we need to adapt to the changes. Change is inevitable. It's the resistance to change. Well, this is what change is not painful. It's the resistance to change that is painful. That's really relevant at the moment. So we really need to flow with stuff. And also what's coming in, we can't imagine it. We can't fathom what's going on and who we're going to be because we really don't know who we are. This is what it's about. I did a beautiful on Truth and Tarot time. With my lovely friend Laurie, and it was the way she just said, I know who I am, I know where I come from, and I know why I'm here. And that, when she said that, I had chills. And it's because it works on so many different levels. You can go, yeah, I know who I am. I'm Deborah. Oh, yeah, I know where I'm from. I'm from the UK. I know why I'm here, to do whatever job I'm doing in inverted commas, but it goes deeper. It goes deeper. Who am I? Your multidimensional nature. Do you know who you are on a multidimensional level? And to where you come from. We all come from source, and we've all come through various different realms, haven't we? The galactic realm, the angelic realm, I mean, all sorts of things. And why are we here? We're talking about our soul purpose, not just our job in the physical, like in the matrix. So I just love that. I love that. I know who I am. I know where I come from. And I know why I'm here. But it's a really powerful affirmation, even if you don't know where you come from on a galactic level, and even if you don't know your soul purpose, it's still really powerful to say it because what you're doing when you say that is you're opening yourself up and being receptive to knowing, and the guidance will just come in thick and fast. And we were talking about I can't put a link in the description at the moment because it hasn't gone public yet, this one with Laurie, because they're all scheduled. But we were talking about levels of consciousness. We were talking about heaven on earth, creating heaven on earth. And we were talking about how heaven on earth is a level of consciousness. And when you access that level of consciousness, then through us, we create heaven on earth. And it was just the way that Laurie said to me, we are heaven on earth. And that shut me up as well. It's not often that I get shut up. But I was just like speechless. And I had to absorb how profound that was, that we are heaven on earth. On some level, it's really obvious. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. But on another level, I was like, yeah. I always think of heaven on earth coming through us, but of course, we are that God spark. We are the God spark. So we are heaven on earth. And so whatever we create, we have the ability and the power and the love in us to create heaven on earth. It's up to us to do that. All of that from the world card, because of course there's this completion. And there's massive change coming, but there's freedom. She's holding these wands. Remember, the magician holds a wand. He's the alchemist, but she's got two wands. She's been alchemizing fear into love for ages. She's been doing the inner work for ages. So, she's got this, she's at this level where, the world is her oyster. The universe is her playground. That's what I want to say. And with that, because I am very aware that there's a lot of suffering going on in the world, earthquakes in Venezuela and all sorts of other things. And I think it's really important to understand that when you get to this level, your heart is it's so full of love and compassion for humanity, for all of humanity, all of the time, because this is not spiritual bypassing, but it's really important from a quantum perspective to understand that your happiness is not a betrayal to those suffering. It's actually the fuel and the light that will help them. So it's definitely, let's not sacrifice our happiness. It's our happiness is actually creating hope and light and love to those that need it. Because remember, how many times have I said the Rumi quote? You're not just a drop in the ocean, you're the whole ocean in one drop. When we can start really embodying this understanding that we're not just a human in the universe, we're the whole universe in one human. So when you have love and compassion for yourself, that love and compassion is going to everybody in the universe. So you can really share that love and compassion with anyone that is suffering, any parts of you that are suffering. But being happy is not a betrayal. Being happy is what's going to help. Wow. I've got some more cards here. I hope I'm not going to go on too long. Here we go. Strength card. Love it, love it, love it. This is Christ consciousness. And of course, Christ is not Jesus's surname. Christ is a level of consciousness. Jesus was living at that level of consciousness, and his teachings are in alignment with us accessing that level of consciousness. He wasn't asking us to worship him. He wasn't asking us to create a religion over him. He wasn't asking any of that. He was asking us to listen to his teachings. So I say that from a very non-religious point of view, but just from an energetic point of view, that Christ consciousness is within all of us. And it's about us activating our own Christ levels of consciousness. And it comes through self-mastery, which is done through love and not force. That's what this card is about. She's tamed the lion through love, not through force. So Power versus Force, by Dr. David Hawkins. Always love that book. I'll put a link in the description if you haven't already read it. I talk about it in this book, Lessons in Awakening, because it is the power of love. Our power lies in love, and we can change things through that love. So if you want to master a musical instrument, or you want to tame an animal, or you want to discipline a child, it's always going to be more effective if you do it through love rather than through force. And of course, the same applies for ourself. Self-mastery is through loving ourself rather than pushing ourself, efforting, criticizing. I mean, it's just through love. Yes, exercise, yes, diet, do all of these things, but do it because you love yourself. Do it because you love being healthy. Do it because you love your life when you feel more vibrant. So it's all about taming and disciplining. We've got Saturn in Aries, so it is all about disciplining ourselves, but to do it through love, not force. That's what this card is about. And let's not forget, it's also Leo. And of course, at the end of July, we go into Leo. So at the beginning of July, we're in Cancer season, as I mentioned before, and then we move into Leo season, which is more sociable. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of fun, a lot more childlike. And of course, we'll have the Lionsgate portal. The Lionsgate portal is all relevant to this card. So yeah, we're starting off with two major arcanas, absolutely loving it. Powerful start. The Queen of Cups, she's always around because she's reminding us how influential we are. She's a very influential character. And she's focused on her cup, which of course is emotions. The cups represent love, intuition, spirituality, creativity. So she's focused on her creative projects, on being creative, whether she's just having a party, enjoying herself, or whether she's, writing a book, painting a picture, writing some music, whatever she might be doing. She might be doing some pottery. She might be just practicing a new skill or something. But she might be just doing a puzzle. It doesn't matter. It's just doing something, the process of just being creative on some level in some way. It could even just be going for a walk in nature. So she's focused on that, and she's focused on her feelings, because your feeling is the secret, as Neville Goddard said. How you feel in every now moment is your contribution to the collective. So if it feels good, do it. If it doesn't, don't. If it's excitement, follow your excitement, because some things are really lighting us up and we don't always know why. Things can fall into place and just turn on a dime, as we say. I felt like that when suddenly the idea to do an event in Glastonbury. I've done an event in Ramsgate before, so that was a little bit more, in my routine flow. But the Glastonbury one literally came out of the blue, and everything fell into place. Literally turned on a dime. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, something. It means something. I don't know what. It hasn't happened yet. But that kind of excitement we really need to follow. And we need to understand that things can turn on a dime. We were talking about all the change coming in. Things can change in an instant. It could be, an email coming in, a job offer, a new person walking into your life that can just change everything like that. That's happening a lot at the moment. And the Queen of Cups is saying, trust that feeling. Trust that feeling, and to use discernment between that feeling of excitement. And sometimes that excitement can be a little bit fearful, because the chances are you're going to be doing something very different, starting a new relationship, doing a new job, doing something that's taking you out of your comfort zone, taking you somewhere that is a little bit nerve-wracking. So we need to use discernment about how we feel about that, because we need to make sure that it's the excitement that we need to follow, as opposed to our intuition telling us it's not the right thing to do. Because the excitement, I think, has the butterflies, whereas and that's an expansive feeling. Even though you're nervous, you're still in a state of expansion. Whereas if you're going against your intuition, that tends to be a heavier feeling of fear. I think it's more like a lead ball in your stomach rather than the butterflies. And it puts you into a state of contraction that tells you that is not for you. Because sometimes it's easier, isn't it, to tell when your intuition is saying no, because it's kind of a heavier feeling, isn't it? So she's saying, feel, feel into your body and trust what your body is saying to you, because also this is a time of us lightening our load, physically, emotionally, and mentally, of course. And I think our diets are changing. Not just eating less, but maybe needing certain nutrients. So listen to your body. What's it telling you? Because the chances are it's helping you find the right foods or nutrients or what have you. And I will mention the sway test. There's going to be lots of links in the description, isn't there? If you're new to all of this, please check out the sway test, because the sway test will help you know what nutrients your body needs and what nutrients it doesn't need. Okay, what foods and what beverages are serving your body and which ones are not. It's back to that expansion and that contraction. So I'll put a link in the description to the sway test as well, so that you can find out what your body needs, or you can confirm what your body is trying to tell you. Here we go. This has been coming up a lot lately, the Ace of Swords. It's aha, aha. It's an aha moment. It's a breakthrough, massive breakthrough. Something's happening, something's coming in. It's communicative. It's taking our communication to another level. Like I said, it could be an email coming in, it could be a message coming in, that literally changes. It could be a conversation that you've had, it could be a conversation that you've heard, it could be words. So this is a bit like what Laurie said to me that I said earlier on, I know who I am. I know where I come from. I know why I'm here. And things like we are heaven on earth. Those words gave me the chills. This is what this card is like. Something's resonating at a new and higher level. That's what this is. It's an ace. So it's new and higher level. It's coming from the divine, because it's coming in from this cloud, which means it's coming from the divine. So there's a new way of looking at things. It could be something about we were talking about the Cancer video and the Trump haters and the Trump lovers. It could be something about rising above all of that. It could be oh, that's the way to go. I don't need to change anybody. I don't need to fight my corner. I don't need to defend my beliefs. I don't need to justify myself or my thoughts. Don't need to do any of that because that implies that I'm a victim. That implies that I'm under attack. But what do I want in life? World peace. Who doesn't want world peace? That's what I'm going to work towards. And then you look around you and you see that everybody's working towards that. Everybody in your reality, regardless of whether they love Trump, hate Trump, regardless of whether they agree with you, don't agree with you. You know, that's the aha moment. It's like, oh, I don't need to struggle. Oh, I don't need to fight. Oh my God, I don't need to justify myself. I don't need to defend myself. I don't need to do any of those things. I just need to live myself in a place of peace. That's world peace. That's what this is all about. How to create world peace in one book. Link in the description, definitely to that. So this is a new way of looking at things. Your happiness is not a betrayal to those suffering, just looking at something from a different perspective. So what new ways are there for you to look at what's going on in your life? Okay. Here we've got the Hanged Man. He's been coming up a lot as well. The Hanged Man, major arcana, he's hanging from his tree of truth, authenticity, and being who you really are. It's not about changing who you are, not justifying it, not defending it, as we've just said, but also letting other people also, they don't have to justify who they are, they don't have to defend who they are. So we don't have to ask them to. It's about living in peace. He's enlightened. Look, the rays around his head show spiritual enlightenment and spiritual guidance. And this is the stillness. This is the gift of stillness, solitude, silence, and stillness. And I can put another S onto that and say surrender. This is where you're just giving up in the most positive way, letting go of all of the resistance. It's so liberating. You don't have to do anything. And that stillness will give you the space to be able to receive guidance more clearly. And it is a card of non-action, not taking action, non-doing and being. But that doesn't mean he doesn't take action, because when action comes, it will come through him, because he is heaven on earth. It will come through him and it will be choiceless, effortless, and joyful. And he just have you know those times when you've done that, where you've just done things and not known how they came into your reality, and you just devoured, whether it be a book or a podcast or something, and you learned something and you went off and did it, and there was no thinking. You didn't even have to think, because it was so in alignment with who you are, and it was so in alignment with your soul's blueprint. So the action is there, but it's so effortless, it's choiceless, and it's so joyful. So and also looking at life from a different perspective. Of course, it's come on the heels of this, seeing things from a different perspective. I mean, as a yogi, I would love to say doing handstands and headstands. But if you're not trained in that, then that's fine. But lying over a ball is a really good idea, or even just lying over your bed, or lying upside down on the sofa. You see children doing it all the time, don't you? And you might think, oh, that's just silly, Deborah. Well, that's fine. I don't have to justify it. But I find that when people do it, myself included, you come up with a smile on your face. That's the point. You come up with a smile on your face. I challenge you not to, right? And the last card, this is the Nine of Pentacles, and she really is the epitome of understanding that your happiness is not a betrayal to those suffering, because she's Lady Muck. I call her Lady Muck. She's swanning around her garden, totally enjoying herself, enjoying the plants, enjoying nature. That's really good guidance from the Nine of Pentacles. She's enjoying her animals. She's enjoying what she's wearing. dress up, go out, feel good, look good, feel good if that floats your boat, whatever it might be. She's enjoying the luxuries in life, but then what's a luxury? Doesn't mean, you see, what a luxury is. I was thinking this the other day. What is luxury to you? Because if luxury is dripping in gold and having loads of money and a massive house and a flash car, excuse me, I'm thinking, I don't even want any of that. To me, the luxury is having a garden, being able to walk out into nature. To me, a luxury is having animals around me. For me, a luxury is having the time to do the things that I want, just doing things like this. The luxury for me is being able to be this, this is the luxury. It doesn't have to cost money, does it? Now, what she's got, she's not short of a bob or two, but what she's got, you see, she's got these six pentacles here, which she's investing in everything and anything. She's investing them in herself, but that does include maybe she's having treatments, maybe she's studying courses, maybe she's spending money and investing in other people, but for her own benefit, if you see what I mean. She could be donating to charities as well. If she has some surplus pentacles, she might be donating to charity. And that you could say is not for her own benefit, but on the other hand, it always makes us feel good. So it is still for our own benefit. But she's keeping these three. She's keeping these three. She doesn't need a big house. She doesn't need a flash car. She doesn't need to be dripping in gold. So she's, spending whatever to serve humanity through serving herself, of course. But she's keeping these three. So she won't go without. She's not going without. She's very sensible, but she is spending her time, her money, and her energy on whatever floats her boat because that's her luxury. And I think that's a really important lesson as well, because she understands um, that our level of consciousness, our frequency is our currency, because we are creating our reality at the frequency of our consciousness, at the frequency that we are. You raise your frequency, you expand into higher levels of consciousness. And we create our reality through the frequency that we are. We don't create what we want in life, we create who we are. She understands all of that. So therefore, our level of consciousness is our new currency. So the more that you spend time, money, energy, resources on yourself, on raising your frequency, not wasting, we're not talking about wasting money, wasting time, wasting resources. We're talking about putting yourself first, mastering yourself through love. And the old paradigm might have said, oh, you can't justify having, I don't know, a massage every month or every week or whatever. I don't know. That's just an example. You might think you can't justify it because it's a treat, it's a special occasion. Now is the time to do these things. That's what she's saying. So yeah, wow, quite a lot going on at the moment for July, isn't there? I hope something there resonated with you. Thank you for getting to the end of the video. Please like, share, comment, and all those YouTubey things. I am sending you so much love. Hopefully, if you're in the UK, I'll see you in Glastonbury or Ramsgate very, very soon. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you all. Bye for now.